Welcome back to the channel. This is the Minority Report, and I'm Takeo.
My name is Enrique.
And today we're going to be going over some Delta-8 products from a company called Mountain Strong Hemp. Really high quality D8 products from what we've seen out on the market currently. These guys have full control from seed to final product. They are involved with genetics as well as the full process on each of their different products. And they seem to be so far really good as far as visual and the COAs go. And we have not yet really gotten to try any. So we are going to try them here today.
I want to go for the mystery flavors only because we'll both be able to get a different kind and get a better feel of what the flavor may be.
So these ones here will be going out to my sister who is currently going through chemo. Delta-8, if you are unfamiliar, has a lot of great properties to help people who are going through chemo. It's good for anti-nausea. It's good for appetite inducing. So this is something that we're hoping she'll benefit from during her most intensive stage of chemotherapy.
Do you remember what each gummy contained as far as milligrams for Delta-8?
Yeah, these are 25 milligram gummies. With these Delta-8 products, there is less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC.
The green one tastes really good.
There's like apple.
A little hint of apple. You don't get that hemp cannabis taste at all. Just tastes like a gummy.
That one just tastes like a mango gummy.
Yeah, tastes really good.
Really good. Really good. We are familiar with the effects and feelings of Delta-8, so we're going to go ahead and try to give you guys as the viewers a good description of what we think, what we feel, and overall the quality that we get from each of these products. The distillate carts here from them, there is a Girl Scout cookies and a banana kush. We've already kind of dabbled with those because that is the type of product we're most familiar with. And so we wanted to compare them to the other Delta-8 distillate carts that we've already tried. And we were both, I'd say, very pleased with it.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Really liked it. As far as the Girl Scout cookies, I liked how clean and clear the product actually looked. I enjoyed the high that it gave me. It was very relaxing. It really does hit you in a much more clearer way than normal D9 Delta-9 would. So I would definitely recommend trying something sort of like D8 or D8 if it was something that you haven't been familiar with. If CBD doesn't cut it, if you're still looking for that mental high versus just a body high, while regular weed, cannabis, and D9 is too intense, definitely go for Delta-8. It's going to be a much better alternative if you feel like the anxiety or paranoia is just not what you're looking for. Some people do like that. Some people chase for that. But obviously, we're trying to hit more on the healing properties of what we have and what we can present to others.
Yeah, so if we take a look at these carts here, this is the Girl Scout cookies one. So you'll see here that the distillate in it is rather clear. This is the banana kush, and you'll see here that this one has a little bit more of a yellow hue to it, most likely due to the terpenes. The distillate itself is the same across the board before the terpenes are added in. So yeah, but you can see how thick this is as well. These air bubbles will not move and have not moved.
Versus your more common CBD that's a lot more fluid within the cartridges. This is it's actually a lot more thicker than regular D9 carts. So if you're already used to buying regular carts for whatever price you're getting them at, you're going to notice that these carts are a lot thicker. We do have another video that we uploaded that Takeo was showing him heating up the cart just like you would with a joint. So it was a little bit easier to explain how to get the carts going because they're so thick of oils. It may be hard to just even get them into the wicks. So I would definitely say heat it up, try to get a little bit warm, try to get it going. And even when you do hit it the first initial times, it may not taste what you want it to taste, but just give it a bit and it'll turn out exactly what the flavor shows.
Usually, yes. With these ones, I haven't really
I
experienced
haven't either.
too much of a stoppage in wicking.
No.
Even with the air bubbles, they seem to just keep on going.
They do flow up.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that big of a trouble where it just stays contained at the bottom. Other D8 carts that we have tried, nowhere near as good as this. It was either over terped, under terped, and definitely this one, I appreciated the fact that I wasn't constantly having to heat it up. As thick as it was much better quality, so it definitely did flow much cleaner all the way to the very end.
And again, these guys, Mountain Strong, these guys are industry guys. These guys know what they're talking about. We did get a chance to talk to them directly in person. We had a great conversation with them, very knowledgeable, and it sounded like they have really good control over their supply. Through their crops and through the genetics alone. So yeah, they're yielding some very, very, very high quality products. And that's why we were so eager to really jump in and get to try them. So we didn't wait on these. We tried these right away
that was one that we wanted to try because obviously not having to smoke regular weed, trying to just focus more on the Delta-8 products that we had. Now that we have edibles, we've had already for a little bit the carts. The wax will be one that we want to try soon, at least for Mountain Strong, because we haven't tried their wax, but it smelled really, really good.
Correct. So
especially
this is the Pineapple Express Shatter from them, and it looks nice.
Yeah, looks really clean.
This one looks like a little lightning bolt here.
That's cool.
So yeah, very clean, very clear looking, very solid shatter. Not as sticky as a lot of other shatter. Yeah.
No, it's not. It feels like you can mold it a little bit easier and really get the product that you want before dabbing it.
Yeah,
So
of course.
Nice.
I haven't kept this in the refrigerator, but usually I keep my shatter in the refrigerator just to keep it nice and glass-like, so that when I hit it, I could break a piece off. But this one's been out for a little while, so.
Gotcha.
But still not as tacky as I would expect from Shatter. And this one here, this is their Crumble, and it looks really good.
It smells
really even better.
Yeah. When I first smelled it, I was impressed. I was really, really impressed with how good it smelled. It almost feels cool. Like it feels like it's somehow refreshing from there.
Yeah, refreshing.
Like the temperature feels colder in it when you smell it.
It's nice. Can't wait to try this. This one we are going to go ahead and utilize our Dr. Dabber switch later to go ahead and try that. We do kind of want to break up testing the products separately so that we can designate which product is giving us what feelings, because definitely consuming the D8 versus vaporizing it is going to be a lot different. And then smoking it on the other side of that spectrum would also give us a very different effect. They do offer some Delta-8 CBD flower, something that we weren't really interested in testing out just because our thing is more of the concentrates and the edibles. However, they did supply us with these nice King Palm Delta-8 cigar here.
It's clean.
So very nice looking. Smells great.
Hand rolled.
Yeah, these are all hand rolled. They said this is not their final product. They were still perfecting the method for rolling these because they are hand rolled. But I mean, from what I can tell, they look pretty damn good.
It looks really good. I was impressed.
Yeah. But this is a low concentration of D8. I'll have to take a look at the COAs. I don't quite remember off the top of my head how many milligrams per it was. It also did contain, I believe, CBD and CBG. But since it is low dose, what do you say? You want to spark one up?
Yeah, let's do it. smells really good.
That one smells nice.
It hits clean too.
Yeah. So again, these, Delta-8 products, these are not standard cannabis. This is hemp derived. These products are all from a hemp plant.
Even as far back as the seed.
Correct.
Which
that
is
through
very
genetics has been altered genetically to produce a higher concentration of the cannabinoids that we do want from the plant, while minimizing the amount or almost completely removing the levels of Delta-9 THC.
Which is the goal, to keep it as...
Correct. Keep it legal.
It's a really nice slow burner.
Yeah, it's real nice. This is something I think I would really enjoy.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I'm not a heavy smoker. I'm not the kind of person that's just high all day. I prefer not being high all day. I mostly just smoke at night to sleep. The D8 I really, really like because I do have a lot of anxiety. Those of you who know me know I am very energetic, mostly due to me being anxious all the time. So I move around a lot. I talk really fast, and my brain moves 1,000 miles a minute. And that's just kind of how I am. The D8, for me, has helped. I use it periodically throughout the day, especially when I am doing stuff on the computer, things like that, right? Just to really help me settle in, calm down, and focus. So for me, that's been good on that. You're a different type of smoker than I am. So why don't you tell them a little bit about your experience being, more of a heavy smoker?
On the heavier smoking side, I smoke a lot of joints, a lot of bong rips, vaporizers with me everywhere I go, pretty much. For those that say that Delta-8 is a diet weed, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Both can get you to whatever level you would like. One may be a little bit more effective than the other, Delta-9 being a little bit more effective. But overall, it does what it says it does. And even if this only helps for half the day, while the other one may last you a full day of consuming it at a different level, it's just, I'll have to smoke more D8. I'll have to vape more D8. I don't know too much on the edible side since this is really my first time consuming these products. But I will say that the high won't last as long, but you may like that. And this isn't pushing it for those that want to get super, super high. If you do, you will get that. But for those that are just trying to get a little edge off, they're just trying to be on the computer, they're trying to focus on whatever work they're doing, this will be more for that. A lot of people don't want to just smoke regular weed because they feel like it lasts a little bit too long.
Yeah.
You
For
may
certain people.
exactly, yeah, and it could really depend on the edibles. Normal edibles, you don't want to eat 5 milligrams if it doesn't last as long, but you don't want to eat 15 or 10 if that ends up being for too long.
Yeah.
So even with edibles, it could be very tricky. I would recommend just trying Delta-8, especially Mountain Strong's edibles, because they taste really good. But what I like about it is if it doesn't last that long, you at least know, hey, I'll eat 2.
Correct.
Or if
Easier
it lasts
dose.
exactly, you don't want to overdose, especially with edibles.
Well, you can't really overdose, but
Overdose
take too
yourself.
much.
Yeah, versus just undertaking and just knowing a little bit more on your own personal limits. And a lot of people don't know about these products, and that's mainly the reason why we're trying to show the public is that there's an alternative to whatever you're doing if whatever you're doing is already giving you anxiety and paranoia.
Correct. I think it goes along the lines too. People like me, you're a coffee drinker. Every morning, gotta have a cup of Joe. Coffee increases my anxiety, but I need it to wake me up. I'd be very interested to try a Delta-8 product early in the morning as soon as I wake up to see if it just snaps my brain into gear and really gets me going for the day without having to worry about a lot of the anxiety that comes with energy drinks and coffee and
Yeah.
Even smokers. Like I used to smoke, and nicotine could do work, but I think instead of smoking, a cigarette, smoking one of these is a lot more enjoyable. Probably lasts a little bit too long for a smoke break, but
Yeah, exactly. There's one for everybody. If you want to have a nice conversation while smoking a Canagar or just a blunt or a joint, the smell will stay on you. There's just so many different factors in where you are. If it's something where you're just trying to eat an edible and use that for whichever way in your personal life, as well as vaping. I like to vape out in the street. I don't care if people can smell the smoke on me or the weed on me. I would just prefer to be a little bit more respectful, especially if you are in a professional setting where your job may not care. But on the vaping side, I feel like that's going to be a big one. That's
right.
definitely
Doesn't
going to
stay on you. You don't smell like you just smoked.
Yeah, it's not something where it's going to be blowing massive clouds like the vape industry that you're very familiar with, but it'll definitely, like in the end, if you're going to treat this medical, it'll get the job done. That's exactly what it'll be. If you want to seek it recreationally, it's going to do that too. So that's what I like about all these different products, is that it's all concentrated in its own manner separately. And I feel like trying them all out it's fun. It's awesome.
It is.
It's very helpful. It works.
Price points on these products, very, very reasonable. Especially when you're comparing it to, here where we live is recreational. Recreational prices to me are absurd. And where we're from, the prices are still pretty high. So these products do come at a much, much more reasonable and affordable price, especially for someone who's new, someone who has no idea what these are, have heard a little bit about them, just want to try them, right? It's not going to break the bank to go to the store and pick any of these products up, really.
Legally, without needing a card as well. Yeah, even if you're like, okay, well, in my city, town, or wherever I am, it's already legal. This is going to be even more legal. And if you're already buying something ridiculously expensive, this may already be exactly what you're looking for without knowing. So I would recommend definitely trying this, regardless if you're in a legal city or state, on the medical or recreational side, because this is going to be, it's legal wherever you go.
For the most part. Correct.
For the most part. There's gray areas.
This falls more in line with your CBD, your CBG types of products where, again, they do not contain more than the 0.3% Delta-9 THC, which is the main psychoactive that people refer to as just THC. So therefore, and also because they're hemp derived, these products can pretty much be sold almost anywhere. I mean, I've heard, depending on which state you're in, I know some states you could go to your local gas station and pick it up. Here we've seen them at glass shops, head shops.
Yes.
That's primarily where we're seeing the Delta-8 products at. But so depending on where you are, you may want to ask around, see who's carrying it. I know there's a lot of different brands out there currently pushing D8.
Yeah.
And we've tried quite a bit. We've tried quite a few of them.
We have.
And so far, I think for me, this is probably the best.
This has been my favorite one so far. The other ones, as far as on the cart side, since that's more familiar with where I'm at, definitely these have been the best distillate carts that we've had.
Their distillate is
with
amazing.
D8. It's really good. Just straight off the first couple, just hits, drags. I really, really enjoyed them.
Yeah, and the thing with distillate is these ones do come in carts. We're hoping to get some syringes filled with distillate from them. The syringes are a little bit more practical, especially, you may not be a vapor. You may not understand what this is. This is a 510 threaded ceramic wicking cart that connects to a battery and has a heating element inside, which draws the distillate in and then vaporizes it. These types of product will soon be regulated from the new PACT Act. It's going to make it very, very, very difficult to ship these products because no one will ship them. So the syringes are going to be more in line of probably what people are going to be more accustomed to when it comes to distillate. With that, you could use distillate in all different types of manners. I know you, for one, like to, which I don't personally like, but to do it sublingual, right? You like
Yeah.
to take just a little drop and eat it.
Yes. So that was one of the issues that I think I had with the past Delta-8 carts, were that it wasn't the temperature voltage, because I think we nailed that down, at least as far as the device that we were using. Every device will be different as far as what distillate you have. And it was constantly getting stuck to where I kept having a lot of like the spit back from other vapes. As far as this, it was a spit back from the Delta-8. And I tasted it once and it got me pretty high, pretty quick, much longer than just vaping it. So
Yeah.
then I started to just buy carts or have my own, where I either just opened it, heated it up, and just put it in food. I tried it for just pretty much anything that you just drop that into. Eat it with it. You won't even try it. But as far as sublingual, just eating it straight off of there, hot, warm, cold. If
Doesn't
it's
matter.
as soon as you eat it,
Stick some in your teeth, save it for later.
Yeah.
Kind of pick at it throughout the day.
Just get a little high, get a little jump when you need it.
Yeah, but again, with these syringes with the distillate in them, you can literally just drop, and they're graduated, so you can measure it. You can see how much you're putting in.
Yep.
But you can put it straight into your food, whether you're cooking something or whether it's something you bought and it's already made. You want to put it on a chip, whatnot. It's very versatile, and it actually works really good for the edible version.
It really does.
I don't know by itself, but maybe
By
put
itself,
in some food.
by itself is a little rough. Constantly having it stuck in your mouth, and especially the Delta-8, because it's stickier than Delta-9. So even when it's in your mouth, constantly having to lick it out is very annoying. So obviously this is a great alternative, but not many people know that you can do that straight from the carts. So we would love to have not just the carts and provide them for those that still want that, but if you have your own cart that you want to reuse, or for whatever reason you just want to get the syringes and just work based off of that,
Yeah,
we want to be able to supply that for people as well.
Yeah. So, with these DA products, did want to go ahead and let the viewers know that our tolerance levels are very, very different. So, throughout the videos on our channel here, you may notice that, he will typically consume a lot more than I personally would, because my tolerance has never, ever changed over the years that I've been consuming. So I mean, even when it comes to regular weed, I smoke the same amount all the time, and it gets me just as high, versus your tolerance is pretty messed up.
Yeah. And I think that's where it was a good point of view for me to see. All these other people talking online, I don't know their tolerance levels. For me, normally, on a normal sesh, probably between both of us, 2-3 joints, and then just a few bong rips for me. Takes a while to get there, but definitely with a D8, it'll still get you there. I'll occasionally eat 50 to 75 milligrams of THC and maybe like 30-40 milligrams of CBD. So yeah, don't knock CBD. With the good mixture of high potency on both, they do exactly what they're both supposed to do.
Oh, absolutely. Even the CBD flower in itself is, something that we were kind of just like, eh.
Yeah.
But yeah, smoking that stuff does definitely, it's a different type of high.
It's a different type of high. It's something that you should try out for yourself. My biggest recommendation is do your research on who's trying to have good quality D8, because just because a car will cost $20 doesn't mean it's any cheaper than something that will cost $60. Just find out exactly who has the quality that you want, and you go pay that amount.
Correct. And don't buy it off the street, guys. We don't know what's in there when you're buying it off the streets. It could be cut with who knows what. Vitamin E acetate made its rounds early on. Last year we saw it, and hopefully these days, even those guys selling on the street aren't using stuff like that. But just make sure that it is something clean, something that hasn't been altered to the point where it's dangerous, and something that does have good lab results, lab reports.
Get your own results. Be able to find the ability to do your own results on product that you really like, because whatever the price may be just to even get it tested, if you like that product, a one-time fee to know exactly what you're buying is going to give you a peace of mind when you return and buy product from these guys again. So that's one thing that I would also recommend to do. If not, we already know for a fact that we're going to be presenting products that we like, vaporizers, edibles, even the blunts, joints as well, whatever, just shatter, wax, crumble, just to be able to show what we like ourselves because we're both smokers. Even if I smoke more, we still want the same kind of quality regardless.
Correct. I mean, it is rather important when talking quality. There's price points can be all over the place, especially with something like Delta-8, right? There's
Yeah.
no, it's so new that who's to say that this is how much it should cost,
Correct.
right? I mean, we've seen prices all over the map.
Yeah.
They literally,
Some super, just really, really high where it just doesn't even make sense where, why would it even cost that much?
yeah, it's like it's rare or something.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what they're trying to present is that this is something rare. It's not something rare. It may even be tough to say that this is something new, but it's definitely something that's catching the attention to those that are in that in between, Not everything has to be super not, it doesn't do any effect to your body, but it also doesn't have to be super strong either. Strong doesn't mean quality. That's what I'm trying to say.
Correct. I mean, even then, I mean, their distillate, I believe, was testing, I want to say in the 80%,
Yeah.
right? 80s.
Yeah, it was like 86, 84%
Yeah, and then
Delta
you
8.
have companies that are like, oh, this is 90, 97%.
Yeah.
That's, if that is true,
Dope.
and we didn't notice a difference.
Yeah, exactly. Why enjoyed a few percents less?
Correct.
In my opinion.
And I think, if anything, I mean, I feel these a lot more than I do. the other
I
ones,
do.
so.
They last a little bit longer in the high. Another tricky thing too is the color because Delta 8 is coming out as being something super clear and just very almost transparent, but the terpenes play a huge role. The entire plant, there's a reason why there's natural additives that are in the distillate because we're trying to not just keep an image of having to have clear, or they're trying to have an image of having clear. They're trying to have natural. They're trying to have quality. So even if a distillate has a little bit of yellow in there, it may just be the terpenes. It may just be that strain. There's just so much to it. It's
Mine's
hard
broken.
to say.
It's not working right now. I'm sad.
I
If you haven't noticed, I do feel those edibles. That one I ate, it's very relaxing. My eyes do feel a little bit heavier than just normal awake. I'm still alert and very able to focus. But it feels nice. I do enjoy these highs.
That's good.
They're different.
It's a different high.
Yeah. I'm an indica smoker. I like to get couch locked. I like to just sink into my bed. I use it primarily to sleep. So, I mean, it's good for that. I have not been smoking recently. I've been testing out these Delta-8 products in different scenarios. For me, didn't help me sleep at all. I would probably still need to smoke to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing is that you at least have an idea of what you like. You may or may not like the edibles. You may or may not like, the shatter, whatever it is, whichever devices we're smoking,
Correct.
using, or eating. But just try to figure out what works best for your situation because you either want to use it for, like he said, focusing on the computer, going to sleep, having a brighter morning, or something more recreational where you're just enjoying other people's, company, or you're out at a festival or something. So each has their own setting.
Yeah, I like it socially. I think D8 socially is great. I mean, I think we have great conversations with people around it and as well as consuming it.
Yeah.
So
I have zero complaints on any other products. I like everything. The last thing that I've pretty much been more familiar, which is your favorite, is more just dabbings, more of the concentrates.
yeah.
That's more new to me now because I didn't realize the amount of technology that's out there to make dabbing easy. So I'm getting away from just using a flamethrower in order to light my bowls at extremely high temperatures and never really checking. But that's why he's here to introduce not just me, but the viewers as well on much more product, many more different brands, and just upcoming and even old products that you may like. Just
Yeah,
really anything.
there's a lot of things out there that, especially nowadays, when we're entering a world where cannabis is becoming more accepted, more legal, a lot of places, and people who may not have been cannabis consumers earlier on in life, but are now older, and as we get older, different health issues arrive, and may be interested in trying a certain product for a certain ailment or a certain injury that's coming back, things like that. And the goal is to really help people figure out what's going to help them get there, what's going to work for you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different methods to do it, and people, you don't have to be a smoker, you don't have to smoke. My sister would not smoke that what we just smoked. But something like this, the edibles are going to be great for her. She's not opposed to eating candy. Or she's a dentist, but she's not opposed to eating candy.
Yeah. We also know a lot of people who, or I've heard stories too of people who, like how you said, years later, they're interested in the product, they want to try it, and they're just given regular weed. They're given something that is extremely, just way too strong for them. They didn't expect that. Their kind of weed was much different back in the 90s, 80s, and 70s. So being able to reintroduce them to product that's that strong, that may just be something as a regular afternoon for us,
Correct,
can definitely give somebody a really bad experience or just not something enjoyable. And from somebody who's trying to introduce somebody else into the cannabis space, Delta-8's going to be a great product. They may even just like this. They may not want anything else.
I think a lot of people will.
I think a lot of people will, and those that are smoking regular weed may just want to invest their money into buying this kind of product. They may just, I wouldn't say it's a different high, but it's definitely a more stable high.
Yeah. I feel personally, it is a different high just because I'm one of those people that get anxiety, get paranoid.
That's true.
And I don't have that. So for me, it's a whole different experience. I'm just like, it feels more free. I feel like I'm not thinking as much about things that probably don't matter.
Yeah.
So, so I personally like the D8. I like the feeling I get from it. And I do like that it doesn't last super long.
Yes.
Right? Because I got things to do. I can't just be here and be high all day. As much as I like to be, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's great. I absolutely love it. And I think except for sleeping, I would probably use mostly D8. It's just going to be at night that I'm really just going to want to, take down a bowl or take a dab and knock out.